Hello. How's everyone doing? We're a day early because tomorrow is going to be kind of busy, but we still might get on tomorrow. But I definitely wanted to get one sermon up this weekend, and we're going to jump right back into chapter 6. This is going to be brief. We're just going to do the chapter, maybe a little commentary with it, and a prayer. I know scheduling this kind of stuff is really important, but we're just going to jump right into it right now. So God bless you guys if you're watching live or if you're watching later. Either way, let's see what's going on. I hope everyone's having a great day. Let's see here. Hello, Kyle. What's up? And it came to pass. So chapter 6, Genesis chapter 6. Here we go. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth. Multiply. That's the whole idea of this earth. We want to multiply. If you ever drive across the country, there's nobody around. There's lots of room. You know, we jam in these little cities, and it looks like everyone's so jam-packed in, but there's plenty. I think there's plenty of space. I don't know if this whole overpopulation thing holds any water. I'm not a scientist, but what I can tell you is the winters are still kind of cold, and all the ice hasn't melted yet. Not going to go there. But back to this. We're here to multiply and have lots of kids. That's great. And daughters were born unto them. Yeah. That the sons of God saw the daughters and men, that they were fine, and they chose, and they took them wives for all which they choose. And here we go again, men taking what? Men with women, rock and roll. And the Lord said, verse 3, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There it is. There's a verse there that says, we don't live all these years anymore. We're switching it up. Boom. What? So we're switching it up, and now there's only going to be, you can live to be 120 if you're hardcore. Anything over 100 is pretty good, I think. So we're not living to be 100 anymore, and there's a reason for that. So there were giants in the earth in those days. 11-foot high people. Wow. Can you believe it? And also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. There you go. And same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. Yeah, getting old is great. Being old is nice. It's a renowned thing. You want to live old. You want to live to an old age. Verse 5, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. So that happened. Where all these they sit and they dwell on their sin. It's one thing if you think about sin and you three different ways your mind works. You can think, and you can think about what you're thinking about, right? And the involuntary thoughts that run your heart and your lungs and everything else. But if you sit and think about what you're thinking about and say, no, I don't want to think about that. These people didn't do that. They just embraced the bad thoughts and just let them flow continuously, right? And it repented the Lord that he had made men on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. So he gave them free will, and that's what they did with it. What are they doing now with it? The same free will that we had before. The symbol that people are using for all this sort of stuff, it's the symbol that God gave us to protect us. I think it's the most ironic thing ever. It's so sort of fascinating, and you can't make this stuff up. You can't write this stuff. Only God could, right? Yeah, and he repented the Lord. Okay, and the Lord said, I will destroy man, okay, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me, and I have made them. Wow. He's got to destroy them now. He's got to flush the toilet, all that stuff. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. He saw, he recognized God and the grace of God. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God. So Noah was a very, very godly man, walked with God in his generations. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Amazing. Amen. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. violence. There's lots of violence out there right now, actually. A lot of people disagreeing with each other. Whether you say the government's trying to separate people or what, or, I heard a quote by that African-American actor. He said, let's stop talking about racism. And it might sort of just dissipate and go away. That's cool. We're digging up all these old skeletons. Look at all this stuff. And the world's all racist again. I was taught racism in elementary school. I remember my best friend was black. Okay? I was taught racism that, you guys didn't get along back in the day and stuff like that. Like, before I knew that, I had no idea. I was just friendly with everyone. I was taught that. So that's just something to take into consideration. Let's talk about the history. Let's talk about African-American history. Let's talk about white history. Let's talk about all the history. It's American history. It's great. I think we should know about it. That's sort of my take on that. But, but yeah, well, my take, who cares? I care about God's take, right? That's the main thing. Yeah, and then so God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. Wow. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without the pitch. He used pitch. He used a very sticky part of a tree to create, to create a little coffee. This wonderful ark that we know existed. We found pieces of it. It's out there. We know it existed. It's true. We know that Mount Sinai is real. We've discovered this stuff. It confirms this stuff, people. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, and the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height should be 30 cubits. Again, 3 is a very important number for God. Height, width, and length. Right? Height, width, and length. So that matters. There's 3 dimensions. The butterfly has 3 different forms. Our mind has 3 ways of thinking. Water has 3 forms: ice, vapor, and liquid. 3 is a very interesting number, and it's just something to take into consideration, and there's a purpose for it. The tripod stands on 3 legs. If it had 2, it would fall over, just like people do. No. Okay, and right, so, and this is the fashion which thou shalt make it. So he told Noah how to make it. And a window shalt thou make to the ark, and in the cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shall see set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shall thou make it. And behold, even I do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh within the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with these will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee. So there's enough people to repopulate the earth. They go, how do you fit all these animals on there? Well, maybe they were babies, right? And there was a specific thing. It was, I believe they call it a moon. Do some research on ship making. But there's something you put inside this. You design the ship to have something that sort of makes it equilibrium to the water. So that's a fascinating thing. That is true. But he designed the ship, and in every living thing of the flesh, 2 of every sort. So he didn't say 2 of every species. The word he used was sort or kind. There weren't that many animals. Okay, all the fish could swim, and all the birds could fly, but there was these kinds. Okay, so there was lions. There was one kind of cat, I guess. One kind of zebra. One kind of rhinoceros. There weren't all these different subspecies and species at that time, right? And this sort of stuff. And you say this to a scientist, and they scoff. They scoff at you. Oh yeah, you were there. You saw all this. You can take a wolf, and literally you can go from the largest dog to the smallest dog in 100 years through genetic engineering. In 100 years, it doesn't take eons of time. Evolution can happen quickly. Microevolution, not coming from monkeys. Monkeys still exist on the earth. Oh, there's different subspecies. I don't know. You show me a jawbone, and you say this is the missing link between man and monkeys. One jawbone. there's an inordinate amount of fossils out there that show us all kinds of things. But why are there only a couple little fossils showing us the transition between man and monkey, right? That's something to take into consideration. And the geological thing that they created, they took all these different fossils from different places and put it in a geological column and said, look, there's a column. Well, you got all these different fossils from all over the earth, and you put it together, and you want your theory to go against this sort of thing, right? I'm bringing this up because we're talking about Noah here, right? Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing on the earth of its kind, two of every sort, shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And so they were babies, right? You feed them less, they sleep a lot more, right? That's what babies do. So there's probably a bunch of baby animals. It's not that hard to figure out. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be the food of thee. And for them, so they had food. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Amen. Why doesn't God talk to us anymore? What was the last word that Jesus said? It is finished. There was a time God talked to man. Believe it. So you can take all these scientific theories, not fact, and you can believe in them like religion. Or you can keep studying all the different things, and you can find the true meaning of life and embrace that and believe in that at the end of the day. What are you willing to go into eternity believing? I just wished in school, they talk about indoctrination. We were indoctrinated with this. Every scientific book is millions of years ago. They always start with that. And I go, really? Okay, why can't we learn all the different sides of it? Why can't this be scientific? Science means knowledge. All right, so why don't we teach kids everything and let them sort of decipher what they think is true and false? We have a systematic way that we're going to teach our children. That really turned out great. What's going on now? The whole world's against each other. So that's chapter 6. Those are my thoughts on that. I love you guys for joining me. Again, sorry, I didn't see I'm reading your comments now, Kyle. Cool. Wow. Okay. Keep your mom safe, man. That earthquakes are creepy. The thing about earthquakes is and I'll address any comment on here because I really appreciate everyone taking any time to meet and talk to me and be here with me and join me in this ministry. This is so awesome. But God's really calling me to do this again, and I'm just so excited to keep this going. But what I didn't know is earthquakes. It's so amazing. The earth literally moves at like 9,000 miles per hour when it shifts. It's like it zips by. It zaps, it's like 9,000 miles per hour, and then there's an earthquake that forms and stuff. So, that's pretty interesting to me. I don't know how that's related, but, that's pretty cool. Back to Noah real quick. They go, well, where does all the water go? Look at the ocean. The Earth's covered in 78% water? Just because it's salt? I mean, you got these couple little continents, and it's all water. We live in a water world, essentially, right? Water World. That's a great movie. But anyway, so God bless you guys, and thank you again for joining me. Quick prayer. God, thank you again for giving me the might and the wherewithal to get on here and do this and build this ministry up and to help as many people as I possibly can. Help me reach out and help me save more people and point them to your direction. You do all the saving. All glory to Jesus Christ. And I'm going to promote it more on Instagram. I'm going to reach out and find more people to join this ministry because, God, I think I might be able to help people a little bit to just give them a point of view that maybe other people aren't, and maybe help them sort of see things in a broader way and help them reach you. You do all the work, God. I just point the finger to you, and you help, and you save, and God bless you, and thank you for all the abundance and all the amazing things. Thank you for the water we're drinking today. Thank you for the food that we were able to eat today, the air that we breathe, the time that we have to live and enjoy this life, and eventually join you in heaven and in complete bliss for eternity. Wow, what a thought. Complete and utter bliss for eternity. Amen. So, again, thanks for joining me, guys, and we'll be back if not tomorrow, definitely next weekend. And if you have a Christian buddy you think that might be interested in hanging out and maybe talking some questions, I might do like a Q&A. That might be cool when we get some more folks on here. And so I'm going to stop now, and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your